Hi, Stitchers. Welcome to Tatreez Talk, where we share conversations about Palestinian embroidery. I'm Amani with my host, Lena, chatting with talented embroiderers and artists, sharing their stories, inspirations, and the cultural significance behind their work.
On today's episode, we're chatting with Dina and Yum, Tatreez artists and co-founders of the Tatreez Collective based out of London. They host Tatreez circles and workshops, recently expanding their work to Spain. Welcome to Tatreez Talk, ladies. Thank you for being with us today. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We're thrilled.
Akid, we were just saying earlier, this is a very international call because I'm currently visiting family in Brazil. Yom, you're in London, right? And Dina, you're in Spain, and Lena's in New York. So we're truly very international today. I love it.
Definitely.
Let's represent all four corners.
Right? The diaspora is strong. So we'd love to kind of start by hearing a little bit about you both. Can you guys share a bit about your connection to Palestine? Yom, if you want to start.
Yeah, so of course. So I am half Palestinian, half Iraqi. Iraqi father, Palestinian mother. And in 2015, my mother passed away from cancer. I'm going to go deep straight away, but this is the context of why I wanted to learn Tatreez. And around the pandemic, well, a lot of things happened in the pandemic, didn't they? But I picked up just embroidering, normal, just kind of not cross-stitch, not Tatreez embroidery, but other types of embroidery. And I had wanted for years to learn how to learn Palestinian Tatreez because I had inherited these really beautiful thobs from my mother, you know, shawls, jackets, skirts, she loved it, and so did I. And I grew up, our birthdays, on New Year's, on Eid, on any occasion, when we had guests over, she would wear her thob. So it was very much a part of the, family psyche, as it were. And so that's why I wanted to learn. And then I met Dina. But that's another story.
We'll definitely get to that story.
Yes.
And Dina, do you want to share a little bit about your connection to Palestine?
Yeah, of course. So this is very funny because people look at me, I'm like, you sound Spanish, but you say you're Palestinian. I'm like, people get confused and I'm like, that's the thing about me. So actually my dad is Palestinian, so I'm Palestinian Spanish. My mom is from Spain. I grew up in Spain. And then I moved to London. And I think that's pretty much my connection with Palestine, but also it happens to be that we didn't have any family around when I was growing up. But I grew up in south of Spain, in a very small town. And there, by chance, we found a lot of Palestinian people living there. I mean, a lot. It was 4 families. Taking into account that was a village, a small village, very small village. So they were all Palestinian, some of them from Nablus as well. And I grew up with them. So even though till now I call them my uncles and my cousins, they are not really by blood, but definitely they are family. So it's always been very Palestinian home. Even my mom, talking to her recently, she said to me that she kind of understood the mission, because she's a Spanish family. Spain is not at risk of anything, right? So she always makes sure that we know about Palestine. She's the first one to go to demonstrations. We have to hold her and arrest her one day. She cooks the best Palestinian food ever. My mom, she does all the cooking majority of the time. And she does all the cooking, all the Palestinian food, she's the one. So I guess that we just grew up with that in the house. So that was my kind of first and relationship with Palestine, and lucky to grow up as well with other Palestinians, even though it was not my family directly, but they became family as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. My mom actually grew up in Brazil. She was born and raised in Brazil, and literally in a very small town. And I'm here right now. And funny enough is there were a ton of Palestinian families in this very, very small town. So similar to you, Dina, she was able, even though she lived in the diaspora, she still was able to grow up with a tight-knit Palestinian community. That's beautiful. And I love that your mom,
amazing.
I love that your Spanish mom made the effort to not only adopt Palestinian culture herself, but ensure that you took that. That's beautiful.
She's really committed. Just to tell you a brief story, my mom, she didn't know anything about Instagram, okay? She hates technology. Since the Gaza thing started, she's picked up Instagram. She knows how to post. I see my mom's comments in all eye on Palestine. I'm like, Mom, what have you been doing? The digital intifada. We're fighting the Zionists.
Yeah.
She's like,
That
both
is
of them.
Halto
so
Manuela,
sweet.
she's a vibe, man. She's like,
I know,
love
Halti
it.
Manuela
She's a
is like,
legend. Yeah.
she's something.
Halti Manuela.
Especially not Tatreez.
Yeah.
Guess what? The poor
love her.
woman,
Manuela.
she's been stitching Tatreez like till 2 a.m. in the morning to help me with my project. And she has been stitching like till 2 a.m. I'm like, she's coming to
love her.
Okay,
help.
I'm gonna send this episode
Yeah.
to my mom because I always ask her to help me with my projects and she never wants to help me. She does her own projects.
Yeah, 'cause
but she
your mom
never
is
wants to help me-
stitcher.
Yeah, she does her own projects, but she doesn't want to help me with mine. And I'm talking specifically about the thobe. You know, when I wanted to get that thing done, I was like, Mom, please. And she's like, No, this isn't my thing. Like, you do it.
She's
But
honest.
I
She's
do.
honest.
She's honest, but I do feel like I hear a lot of similarities because my mom is Panamanian, and she is the most Palestinian Panamanian. Like people think she's
Love.
Palestinian because she's also the first one posing. The other day, actually, it's so funny you say that, Dina, because at the beginning of what happened in Gaza. I went home to visit, I think, and she was like, Lena, look. She showed me her Instagram and she had commented on, I think it was like a President Biden post or something. And she was like, free Palestine. And there were like 108 likes. She's like, look, 108 likes. I'm like, yes.
I love it.
You wanna hear the funny story? My mom, like, at some point she got blocked on Instagram. And she called me and she was like,
Are you serious?
Dina,
I didn't know this.
how do I do? I swear, wait. She was like, how do I didn't tell you this, She's like, how do I do for Instagram to unblock me? And I'm like, Mama, you can't. Like, you unblock. And she was like, okay, I have a plan. I'm going to use your dad's phone. Tell me how do I transfer all the contacts to your dad's phone in Instagram? I was like, so he's going to get blocked as well. No, but I have a strategy. I've been observing. I have to put like symbols in the middle of the word so other people can do like P at A dash.
Oh my God.
And like
I'm
this, they don't catch me.
crying.
She's
my God.
she's a legend. Her mom is a legend.
That's
Clearly.
My mom, honestly.
We might need to have your mom on an episode.
Yes,
If she comes around, I tell her to say hi, honestly.
yes, please.
Even if you don't speak Spanish, you'll understand Spanish.
Yeah, she understands.
She has like
like
she fully speaks to me in Spanish, and I don't know how I understand, but I do. Like I'm just
I can speak to you like half
see.
Arabic, like see.
Oh my gosh. Actually, I did want to ask, so do you guys speak Spanish at home only, or did you pick up Arabic as well from your dad?
Oh, please, my dad. I love my dad, but like, I keep blaming him till now, because of him. Honestly, like, he didn't teach me Arabic, so I have to go and learn on my own.
Oh, Dina, you and I, we need to have a therapy session together because this is just all speaks to me, 100%.
What is this? What did they do?
So funny. Yum, did you pick up Arabic at home? It sounds like you did.
yeah. My mom was militant. I'm not gonna lie. She was.
I love that.
That
mom was the
Palestinian
kind-
mother,
Oh
man.
my God, you don't want to mess with them. Honestly,
Oh
I'd be
my
like
You don't
talking
speak
to
Arabic.
Yeah. Do you know we're playing into every stereotype right now? Like a slipper made an appearance. Like the ship literally appeared on the podcast. For God's sake.
That has to be part of that. Has to be for the
that gonna be the
Instagram.
clip?
We'll use it as a
Yeah,
promotion.
we're going to screenshot
God.
that.
Swear to God. No, my mom would literally like ignore me if we didn't speak to her in Arabic. Like she would be like literally she would like finish the
That's the
blah, blah,
only
blah.
way, though. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's the only way.
Fully, we'd like speak to her, like like we'd understand, and she'd just say one word. She'd like go do her whole thing. She's like Arabi, and I should continue 4 hours.
Like, would be
just-
scared.
I'd be like, Mama. She'd be like Arabi, and then you're forced to speak. So until this
It's
day,
the only way. Yeah.
it's the only way because that's the strategy I'm planning with my.
Do you do that? I was going to say, do you do that with your kids?
I mean, well, she's only 3 months old, but we're planning.
It's never
Maybe
too
not
early
yet.
to start. It's never too early to
never
start.
Never too early.
So
Never
good.
too early. But we're gonna have the war of accents in my house. I'm trying to like indoctrinate her with my accent.
the
Yeah.
war of accent.
Okay, can I tell you though?
Spanish.
I love all the different, like, because my mom has this like random Brazilian Arabic accent, and then
really?
the rest of her,
How does it
yeah.
sound? I would love to.
I can't even do her accent. Like her accent is the one accent I can't do because a Brazilian accent is very distinct and an Arabic accent is very distinct. But she combined them and I can never do them. But like I grew up in a family with so many different accents, you know, and like I have a very California accent. I have family who has very Arabic accents, Spanish accents, Brazilian accents. And I love. There's something beautiful about different accents.
So much more interesting. Amani, you're fully Palestinian? Your mom and dad? Both parents?
My mom and dad are both Palestinian, but my mom, her family, they permanently relocated to Brazil after 48. They first immigrated after 48 and then they went back and then they became displaced again after 67. And so my mom and all her siblings were born and raised in Brazil. And like my grandparents they lived in Brazil longer than they ever lived in Palestine. And there's a large Arab and Palestinian diaspora out here, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, in South America especially, I know for sure.
Yeah.
It's like a long history there. Levantine in general, actually, like migration is always, but definitely Palestinian. Yeah, I know some people from Lebanon because my mom was half Lebanese actually, so she grew up in Lebanon as well. So I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, there's like a huge Lebanese diaspora out here. We were talking earlier before we started recording about having to do like an international Tatreez retreat. So now we have lots of options. South America, Spain, London, who knows?
100%. No, not London.
Okay, but we do need to jump into the Tatreez. We do need to jump into the Tatreez, guys.
Of course.
Okay, so both of you, we want to hear from you about your own personal Tatreez journeys, and then obviously how Tatreez brought you together, and then we'll get into the Tatreez Collective. Maybe Yom, you want to kick us off? You mentioned a little bit.
So Tatreez journey. So like I said, I really wanted to learn as a way to connect to my mother. You know, it was a way to connect to her because it was something that she loved, and I know that she would have loved to know how to do it herself as well. So it wasn't like I was taught by her or taught by my grandma or any sort. It wasn't like a maternal thing that was passed down. So for me, it was very much rooted in that. So it was a kind of one of the many ways of healing with my grief. I used to do like poetry events in London and stuff, so I used to be on that circuit, but I fully like retired that now, and now I'm ain't that right, Dina? It's just me and you now, like
now Tatreez is your main healing source. I love that.
My gosh,
it is very healing. It is a very healing art.
Absolutely. And so that's why I wanted to learn, and I became curious, and I was on Instagram as you are. I mean, I'm no longer on Instagram at all anymore. I'm like off social media, but when I saw like an ad for not an ad, it was like a Tatreez circle in, King's Cross. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let me go to this. And that's when I met Dina, and it was love at first sight, basically. And I told all my friends, I was like to Dina, I was like to my friends, I was like, listen, girls, I've met a girl, we're going to recruit her. Like, we're recruiting her into the group. Okay. And they're like, Yuma, we trust you, you recruit the good ones. I'm like, yeah, I know. like don't tell me. 100%. So I'm like, well, I'm going to recruit Dina. So I went and I was like with my crappy little, freaking horrible embroidered back, like the wrong threads, the wrong Ida cloth. It was, do you remember what disaster was? And I was like, what's wrong with the, like, why am I so bad at this? Like, I'm not that crap at, like, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I came to the workshop and I'm like, hi, my name is, do you want to help me? and so Dina basically told me, she's like, first of all, you're using the wrong type of Ida. I'm like, okay, fine.
Oh my gosh.
So she gave me a piece of her Ida, and I started like embroidering on it. And just ever since then, it was like, I couldn't stop. And we started like doing, first, we'd meet like I would say every month. We used to meet in a gallery.
Yeah,
in
every
King's
month
Cross.
in the gallery.
Exactly. We'd meet every month for about a few months, and then the word started getting out about like a Tatreez circle. It was like 4 or 5 of us. And then
Dina, really
Oh,
small.
wow.
And then all of a sudden we got 15 people, and we're like,
no, Dina, it was more. Do you remember that crazy day when like 25 people showed up, and it was insane? And people are rude. Can I just say?
That's
like
amazing.
sometimes, no, not always.
Well, yeah, not when they're rude. When they show up, it's great.
Absolutely. No, I'm joking.
that's
Obviously,
true.
I'm like, dramatic effect. I'm being dramatic. But but for sure, like, there were some amazing people that we met that showed up. But then there was this one particular time when it was just so manic. And it was like, me and Dina, we were there to relax. But it kind of became like me and Dina kind of like teaching everybody how to do it, and it literally became a workshop. And I'm like, crap, okay. And then it just kind of grew from there. We started doing workshops at universities. So universities would reach out to us, like the Palestine societies at universities. So we did a bunch. Where did we go? We went to Dina's alma mater. We went to Queen Mary,
Queen Cross,
King's College, University of Greenwich. We went to a bunch of like London-based unis, and we did like workshops for them there. And those were really great, and we learned a lot, and we met a lot of interesting, students and people, and you know what student societies are like. It's great to be back on university campus. And then we started doing like workshops with other, institutions, and it just sort of all came to us. It really like, I was working full time. Dina's working full time. Like I was, I am doing my PhD as well. I was pregnant as well. It was insane.
My goodness,
a lot going on.
It was insane. Like, this year was insane when I stopped to think about it. Like,
it was madness.
It was mad. It was bonkers.
It was madness, really.
Yeah.
But see, when you're really passionate about something, you make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And so it was fun. And then, we started, so we did like workshops with Leighton House Museum in South Kensington. So they're like a really cool like museum. They do like events and stuff. Where do we do? We did recently with Choose Love. We've done with Shabak Festival. Who else, Tina? I always forget. We've done with a bunch of people now, like a bunch of organizations. P21 Gallery. And we've got a bunch of like other people that have reached out to us as well, like organizations for next year. So Dina and I literally had to sit down and plan our calendar for next year.
Wow.
MashaAllah, that's an amazing problem to have, though.
Alhamdulillah, touch wood. Touch wood. No complaints. But yeah, that's basically that,
Yeah. Wow. And Dina, can you share a little bit about your personal Tatreez journey too?
So mine started because I have, I think you guys will relate to this. I have like an identity crisis, right? Because I'll tell you what. Because like I am the diaspora of the diaspora. Why? Because I was living in Spain and then I moved to London. Even though it's Europe, trust me, it has nothing to do with the culture.
Totally.
100%.
Nah, they eat beans for breakfast, like nothing. Okay, so
they do that in Brazil too.
But baked beans is different.
I know.
Dina hates
I would
it.
sign up for that. Then what happened? I started doing like all sorts of crazy things. I started like not crazy things, but I started like. I signed up for Arabic lessons, and then I started watching like YouTube channels in like how to like just to learn stuff. But I already was like cooking at home, but it just never felt enough. It just never felt that was enough, So then I was like, okay, you know what? Pandemic came, and I was like, have so much free time now. Baking is not my thing, so let me just try something else. Because I was going to say, honestly, baking is not my thing. I just so it's like I want to learn this, and then. I basically tried to find information, and there was nothing much. I don't know what you guys found back there, but it was
it was hard back then.
100%.
And that wasn't even that long ago, but
Through that video on YouTube, I can't remember the name of the YouTuber that she posted.
Was it Ruba? Was it in Arabic?
Yes.
It might have been Ruba. That's the video that I watched to learn too.
And I bought the suppliers myself, and then that thing arrived. And then I started doing the stitches. So I found a picture, I will send it to you later, of my first stitches. It was like separated. Of course, everybody does that. This, like the beginner mistake, right?
I've definitely seen that.
So then that's pretty much like why I started, like how I started with Tatreez, because like really I have like this crisis. And I just felt like that was not enough. Like what I was doing already, it was like kind of like that was not enough.
So Dina, there's no embroidery practice in Spain, like here, because I feel like in Spain they have a lot of they have so many beautiful supplies and embroidery work. I'm surprised.
No. So like in Spain, yes, in Spain you also have cross stitch, like of course, but, like,
exactly.
It's more about like the meaning behind that.
Absolutely.
And, but then there was no like I was in London, so obviously like then after that, what I started doing after that was to harass people on Instagram. And then I found a bunch of people that know how to embroider.
Amazing.
Forcing a community. I love that. Do you now feel like that you are more connected to your Palestinian identity through your practice of Tatreez?
Yes, 100%. I feel like through doing this, I'm not only feel more connected, but I also feel like I'm creating something, and specifically what's happening now is like you feel, it's almost like I'm creating my identity, like while I am learning Tatreez, because I'm learning so many new things. Even the last day, I find out one of the patterns that was from one of the villages that was erased, is Dud. And I start researching about that place, so like, I kind of like, I feel like part of me was missing, so I kind of like completed with embroidery. And it does really I feel more calm about that in terms of like that crisis that I had, because I also feel I'm contributing towards building a Palestine in the diaspora, kind of, and like
Yes.
the record. So definitely, yes.
That's so beautiful. I definitely, I think Lena and I were like nodding our heads as you were talking, because definitely can relate to that feeling of being in the diaspora and not feeling quote unquote enough. But I'm glad that the Tatreez has like brought that to you and brought that like part of your identity closer to you. Amazing. And I know that you both, obviously you both met through Tatreez and started building what we now call the Tatreez Collective. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you guys went from these small gatherings to now you have regular gatherings in London, you do workshops, and you also, which we'll talk about too, but you guys have also been expanding and doing work in Spain, which is amazing. So if you want to find Tatreez anywhere you live in the world, let us know. We will help you find it, because there are Palestinian stitchers everywhere. But yeah, can you tell us a little bit about how that journey came to be with the Tatreez Collective?
So it was actually very organic, like, right, Dina? Like, it wasn't, it just kind of progressively grew with time until we found, like, actually, you know what, this needs to be a little bit more structured, a little bit more organized.
Yeah.
Dina and I today, when we had our little call in the morning, Dina's like, it's time for task tracker. It's time. I'm like, I know. I'm like, Dina, I know it really is.
Amani, this sounds really familiar about
I know,
the
you guys-
podcast.
You guys sound a lot like me and Lena.
Do we?
Which is why I think we just instantly connected.
There you go. There you go. It's me and Dina, like, every time we talk, we're like always talking like, did we follow up on this email? Did we follow? And we're both quite organized individuals in our own lives. Like, we're list makers, and there's a reason it's continuing and everything. But like, I think we just needed to get a little bit more organized. So it grew organically. Like, I would say that's the answer. But definitely, I think for next year, we have a lot more stuff on our plate. So we've taken on commissions, private embroidery commissions.
Wow.
Which is really great and exciting. But
Are you offering those internationally or just for the local?
I mean, for now, we just start. I mean, it was like people are reaching out to us, so they tend to be London-based. But as you know, you have to like assess the fabric and then the time frame, and like it's a process. Like, it's not, it takes time, and anything that's handmade, like, Dina and I, like, we've been in many a situation where we're embroidering to deadlines.
Yeah.
So
Relatable.
Absolutely, embroider. I mean, I know that,
With the
Lena, like, you
frames.
had that, right, with your thob. Like, embroidering to a deadline is like a very specific kind of stress. Like, it's
Oh, yeah. 'Cause you can only go so fast. Your hands can only move so fast.
Exactly.
yeah, your arms will cramp up, and it's not fun. But so it's just kind of grown organically, and yeah, I mean, we're excited. What else? I'm sorry,
kind
I
of
feel like
like
there's a second part. Go on, Tanya.
No, you're
Saying
good.
something.
Oh, sorry, what were you saying, Dina?
Nothing. Yon was saying something the last day. She was saying like, "Oh, can you believe like all the list that we have for last year? It has actually materialized this year. Kind of like we were. Oh, I wish we could do this. Oh, I wish we could do this workshop in this place. And then like 2023 has passed, and it's like actually we actually have done this already. So it kind of like we got to a point that we were like, oh my god, like this is becoming quite big now. Like, and we were not expecting, because when we started, we were like, no, this is just like a hobby. This is gonna be our hobby to like relax. And then all of a sudden, like people start reaching out. We were like, okay, people are interested in this. So maybe like it's a good thing to actually take it as like a part-time thing for now.
But it doesn't feel like work, Dina, right? Like, for
It doesn't feel like
example,
work, that's the thing.
this is even though a lot of it is, people only see the front end of things. They don't see the background Excel
Yeah.
spreadsheets and like the email management and the,
Yeah.
the finance end of things, right? Like, I was up because I put my daughter to bed and then I'm like, okay, I have like a few hours now. Let me do everything. So
Wow.
I'm like,
Yeah.
and so I'm on Excel. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm making like lists of things. 'Cause I used to work in, well, I'm on maternity leave now, but I used to work in human rights. I'm a researcher by day. And I'm like, all of this data that I'm looking at right now, like, this is what I do. Like, but this doesn't feel like work,
Yeah.
It's a passion. It's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a part of you.
So are you guys are doing this full time? No, you're doing it. It's just like a passion project.
Still part-time now. So still part-time. I mean, we now we have to, because it takes up so much of our time,
Yeah.
we do charge to show up to our workshops now. It's just, otherwise it's just not feasible.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
you know what I mean? It's a lot of work. But, I mean, who knows what can happen, right, Dina? We have to write on our list.
I
what
think
else we want.
something is on the horizon. I feel it. I feel it bubbling.
It's just getting like to the point that we need a task tracker.
Yeah, we do. Dina. We really do. We really need like Google Word, what's it called? Google Docs is just not cutting it anymore. It's just like, it's moving too fast. But Dina, tell Lina and Amani about our stuff in Spain, because Dina's leading on that and it's so exciting.
I'm dying to hear about this.
Yeah.
So like in Spain, they contact us through like La Casa Árabe, and they wanted to, so they focus on different Middle Eastern countries every like 6 months or every 3 months. So obviously it happens that they were doing about Palestine. So they decided that they wanted to do like a massive, like a meter by meter Bethlehem star. And they wanted to like stitch it like a stuff like mosaic pattern. So like we gave like 8 workshops with like 25 people, each of them. Everyone will like stitch a small pattern. So like I think I got a picture here, like something like these ones here, right?
Okay.
Oh
yeah.
yes, we'll post that in the show notes. But you can see it on the Tatreez Collective Instagram. Yeah, I saw that.
So then this will actually form, like each of the squares will be one stitch, like one X in like the patterns that we actually
Oh
create.
wow.
Wait,
Like
what?
in one,
It's
like
huge. It's like a big
Bethlehem
star. Yeah.
1 meter, and it will be hung in Madrid. Then it will travel to Cordoba, and then it will travel to London. And if you guys want it, maybe we can take it there.
Yeah, that's
This is
so
amazing.
cool.
What? I did not realize that was what you
That
guys.
is so
Wow,
cool.
I'm like speechless. That's amazing.
Okay, wait. Tell us more. When is it going to be available to view? Because I'm going to plan a trip to Madrid.
Yeah, Lena and I are going to do a live episode from there. I guess now.
Khalas, we have to figure it out.
It's going to be in Madrid by the end of this week. It's going to be hanging in Madrid, and then it's going to go to Cordoba. But it's going to be in Madrid till the 31st
Of January.
January.
And then we'll go to
And
Cordoba.
then after that, it's going to Cordoba in February.
Yeah.
And then we're planning to bring it here. Not here, but like to London.
To London.
To the Arab British Center maybe, because they have
Yeah.
relationship as well, and we have a contact. So we're like, we should actually take it there.
That's the plan.
Very cool.
Yes, we will definitely
Very
share it on Instagram for everyone who is local and can check it out. But wow, that is such an amazing. How did you guys? Was it Casa Árabe? Did they decide like this is the project we want to do, or did you guys collaborate? Like, how did you guys come to the idea of this? Because this is such a unique, like the Tatreez project. I love it.
Yeah, so they wanted to do. They didn't tell us like what they wanted to do. They were like, we want to do something with Tatreez, but like you guys have like open field to suggest something. So there was different suggestions on the table. There was like a massive top, same like a mosaic style. There was a patchwork, like a kind of like framing. But then obviously because it was Christmas, we were like, you know what, like Bethlehem star. It's very much like Christmassy thing, and like people can relate to that, and you can make a project because the workshops were in December, so we were like perfect, like before Christmas, and then you hang it in Christmas, like kind of like doing that, because in Spain Christmas is still 6th of January. So
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
have
it's longer.
Christmas till the 6th. So we were like, this will be so good. So like it was just basically the part of like the planning, the designing the star, and like how to stick it, and also you have to build the star with like a specific material because it's rigid. It's not actually, so it's a rigid material, and then the fabric is stick into that star. So they kind of like gave us like room to create whatever we wanted and like suggestions, and then they kind of picked this one because it was Christmas and they were like, yeah, let's do this. Like they really like the prototype, so we're like, let's do this. Like that would be really good.
And you know what's really cool? What's really cool about this also is that you incorporated or you opened it to your own communities that you were beginning with Tatreez. So you have everyone who's contributing. Like that's really, you guys should do a school trip, a trip for everyone like to go see what they created, especially if it's in London. That's such a cool thing to be a part of.
We will we will definitely think about bringing it to. They want to bring it to London, so I think it will happen. It's just a matter of like organizing it.
Yes, logistics as it were. But no, we definitely like.
But also like people in Madrid, like we did the workshops, and people in Madrid, they were very, because obviously for me it was new to give workshops in my country, kind of in Spain, right? So I didn't know what to expect. I was like, does people know about this? You know, like Spanish people, we are very passionate. So like people cry in the I didn't tell you this, but like my presentation is very like the presentation that we have at the Tatreez Collective is very like emotional like from the connection of like identity, right?
Yes.
So like so many people cry in the workshop.
Wow.
Presentation.
But the presentation is important,
But the Spanish are very pro-Palestinian. I mean the protests have been incredible
very. Because I think it's because we are people that they are very emotional. So even though even if you don't know about the history, when you see what you are seeing right now, they are like, this is not acceptable. Like I've been speaking to people in the street, like in random shops with my kufiya, and they recognize and they're like, are you Palestinian? And they were like, it's like, yeah, horrible. And they said to you, I don't know the history, but I'm watching this, horrible. That's what they said.
There's the human connection and the human emotion.
For sure.
Honestly, it's like, I guess it's just like we are passionate for good and passionate for bad, both of the things, right? So like,
just lots of passion in there.
Yes, that's true.
And with the project that you guys started in Spain, are the people who are attending, are they mostly Palestinians or are they Spanish or it's a mix?
Not really, Spanish.
Wow.
Of course, there's like Palestinians, like they come, but like the majority of people, I would say like 80% of the people from Spain.
So they're really showing up in solidarity. That's beautiful.
Yes.
No, it's really amazing.
Like, and actually, after the workshops, La Casa Árabe, it made like an announcement for people to stitch at home and bring it to La Casa Árabe. And we received so many as well.
Wow.
So many patterns from like anonymous people coming with a pattern stitching like an envelopes and just dropping it in the mailbox.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah. So how many is it going to be the full installation? How many pieces total?
So it's like 76 two times.
Oh, twice.
That is a lot, yeah.
No, it's going to be huge.
That's a 152. That's That's
big.
a lot.
It's a big
That's
start.
like 150 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this project, like, it feels like to me, as you're talking about it, it's like the manifestation of community, which Lena and I spend a lot of time talking about Tatreez and, you know, the beauty of building community through Tatreez. And so you guys have built, obviously, community in London. Now you guys are building community in Spain. Can you just kind of like dive in and tell us a little bit about like what your efforts and like what your hopes are for this like community that you guys are building?
For sure. I mean, I will say, like, we've had people who have turned up to more than one of our workshops. So they'll go to one workshop that we'll do at, you know, one venue and then come to the other one again. And people have made friends through these workshops. So it's really incredible to see that as well. One of the things that I want to highlight, which Dina hasn't spoken about yet, is the presentation that we have. So that's really, really important to us. So our format is very simple. 2-hour format, but the first 15 minutes, and we dedicate a solid 15 minutes to this. It's interactive, it's engaging, is a presentation that Dina presents, and we talk about, we really want to place Tatreez in its historical but also political context, right?
Yes.
And that's very important to us. We talk about, cultural appropriation, and we talk about how Miss Universe 2019, the appropriation and then of the Palestinian thobs that were basically presented as quote unquote, Israeli thobs, clearly not. And then we talk about how UNESCO in 2020, they basically said that this is a protected Palestinian craft, right? Protected Palestinian art form. So we're not shy about that. We talk about the transformation of the motifs from pre-1948, post-1948. We talk about how each, the motif symbolism, which area it's from, and what it represents, and so on. So we really dedicate time to that, and we're unapologetic about that. And so it's also we crack jokes, we laugh, like it's not like a history lesson.
Yeah.
but
it's important to say like what it is that we're doing and where it comes from. Like to your point, what you were just saying, cultural appropriation versus appreciation.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, we can't detach this from Palestinian identity in this respect is inherently political, whether one likes it or not, right? In the context of not just occupation, not just in the context of what has been labeled as apartheid by multiple reputable human rights organizations, and this is my human rights background coming out now, but also more broadly just existing right in the diaspora and maintaining and preserving that identity.
Exactly.
And so for us, we really focus on that. And what's amazing is that we've had people who have never been exposed. They know nothing about Palestine other than what they've seen in the news. And one thing that I love that Dina always says, and we stress in our workshops, is that we want you to learn about Palestine outside of the context of trauma, of just pure trauma, right? Trauma and conflict and violence, which is an inherent reality, no denying of that at all. And I speak as someone who works in documentation and documenting those violations, right? Yeah. But also we're about joy and we're about laughter and love and the cauliflower motif. You know what I mean? Like we so that's really important to us that we introduce people to talking about Palestine through a very different lens, and people then become curious, right? We're talking. So that's what we see. Like our efforts here. Are documenting our heritage in that respect, and that builds community and it builds a curiosity, right? Like people then become curious, and it's not as intimidating, is it? It's not as intimidating, and then you'll find people start becoming politically active, isn't that, Dina? Right? Like they'll start going to protests and things. So
yeah, no, of course, and I think like what Yon was saying is very important as well, because like as she was saying, like people kind of like we always make sure that we tell them like it's not only that it looks nice, it actually has a message behind. And then we use it as well. Like Yom has this beautiful part of a poem that she wrote when we first met, like when I went to the first poetry after she retired. Before she retired.
Because I was so famous and well known, like I had to retire, like just
you had to reinvent yourself.
She said this, that we put it in our presentation, say, we teach a Palestine that they cannot take away from us. And like we tell people about this message because we wanted to feel they are part of what we are building, that they are part of the community that we are building. And it's not only that, but as well, like we make sure we create a nice environment, like we offer them tea because we want to show them that Palestinians, we are hospitable people. We know we like, you go to any Palestinian house and like they feed you that you live like a turkey.
You're force-fed. So we force-feed them with ma'moul and miramiyah.
I love it. But you create like a home environment within like your workshops or your Tatreez gatherings, which I think is really, it's great. And I think, Yom, to your point, it's like highlighting that Palestinian joy, I think right now with everything that we're seeing, and not to turn a blind eye by any means, but, we do need to show that Palestinian joy. And I love that you guys are doing that through art, because art does have a way of just being like this universal language for people.
Absolutely, 100%. This is the thing, like people always forget this. My husband is Yemeni. And so, and he was, in the Arab Spring, he was one of the field doctors out there and seen all sorts of things. And when I talked to him about like, what was it like and stuff and all of this, and he says, yeah, we were all like falling in love with each other as well. Like there was also like of course, not to say that it wasn't horrific, that he didn't see all sorts of things, but also like people in conflict, in revolution, in any kind of situation where there's a level of instability, you know, they still fall in love, they still laugh.
Yeah.
Because it's a part of your own humanity. That's what you're fighting
Yes,
for, right? To
exactly.
retain your humanity, to wear a beautiful thobe. You know, one of the slides that Dina shows is one of my favorite slides. It's the garden dress, right?
Oh, I love that dress. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if your listeners know, but the garden dress is a dress that Palestinian women would garden in. Literally, it's embroidered with the flowers and it's beautiful. And the meaning, we talk about the meaning, how it changed pre-1948, post-1948. Pre-1948, it was just a garden dress. But I just love the idea that there's a fully embroidered dress that you garden in and get like, do you know what I mean? And you get dirt and soil, and then farming out here, like, you know, like, isn't that incredible? Like, that just blows my mind. I'm like, but still, you don't sort of, you know, beauty is an essential part of your daily existence. And like that's so important to us. Like, Dina and I are like, you know, even when we set the table, you know, as my grandma used to say, العين بتاكل, you know, like it has to, you know.
I see the poet in you coming out. I see the poet. And I love every minute of it. I love it so much.
You. Thank you, much appreciated. Yes.
I'm about to go like embroider a garden thobe right now. That's
right?
So magical. Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be amazing if we could do
That is beautiful. Can you tell us more about, I guess, the workshops from this past year and then the workshops because you said that you have a lot coming up in 2024. Are the workshops all like towards the same goal of embroidering one particular motif? Are they for beginners? Do you have different levels? Tell us more about how you think about, you know, how you deliver these workshops.
So we started with like a very basic stitches, like at the beginning. But then we realized that people have so many questions about like, oh, but how do you embroider on like actual fabric? I think that
everyone wants lace canvas.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Always. So then, and also we realized that we took for granted so many things that we think it was easy, but like people don't know, and you're like, wow, I'm extraordinary.
You're very humble.
No, but honestly, like,
Dina,
do you
can
guys
tell
get
them
people
about
in the
the
workshop that they do the knot on the top of a needle?
Mm-hmm.
So you will be like, how? I think that is anyway.
Dina, tell them about how every time we feel like crappy about something that we've done, like with our embroidery or whatever, I just always say to Dina, I'm like, listen, there was a dude that taped a banana to a wall, said it was art.
Yes.
So like, and so like, I'm like, do you know what? We're doing fine. We're fine. like, please.
We're doing good.
Yeah. I have, you know, we have strong feelings about.
What happens now? Like coming back to the topic is like, because of that, we now have developed like 3 kind of workshops. So we have like the basic stitch. We have how to embroider in your own garment. So like actually like we will assess the fabric and like help you understand like which ones you can embroider, which ones you cannot. Then we help you design like a small pattern on it, like choose the right color or something like that. And then we have one that is just to personalize like a small homeware item or like a pouch or things like that, like something small, like a cushion or things like that. So that's been like our focus for this year. And I think because we started quite like late during the year, we're gonna carry on like the next year, because now that it's been established, we get a lot of people asking like, when is the next one to personalize your clothes? So like we will do that. But also like we're looking at creating like collaborations with like organizations to do like similar to like a Sarabe thing, like making like big patchworks, like that they become like an exhibition thing. So that's like, we want to build something that many people can collaborate, you know, and like build something, not as individuals, but like as a community. So it's there hanging for next year.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so are your goals to go beyond the UK, beyond Spain, and kind of take over Europe with the Tatreez?
An empire.
Yeah, we're getting
Little
people
empire
from France, like, when are you coming to Paris? This
There you
lady,
go.
she must bless her. We need to go to Paris for her. She keep messaging me like, once she saw we went to Spain, and what about Paris? When are you coming to Paris? Like, next year.
No. We do.
Yeah.
We have plans. I think it's just I really believe that the opportunity comes, you know, organically in and of itself. So who knows, Dina?
Are we thinking about leaving our day jobs? Is this under consideration?
Oh my gosh, everybody keeps telling me. What do you think, Dina?
We actually were talking about this, about like whether this can become like a full time. Because when you have a passion and you do something with a passion, it doesn't feel like a job. So obviously, like
Yes.
you know, it will be so good if this can become our full time job and like create something, because we're passionate about it. So you never get bored when you're passionate about it.
Exactly.
It's like what is the name of that book? Ikigai. Ikigai. You guys know that Japanese.
Oh,
There's
yes.
this book.
Yeah.
There's this
I saw
book
it today
that's
in
called
Waterstones.
I'm gonna actually Google it. Ikigai.
Dr. Google,
Ikigai.
Dina.
Actually, that's the name. Yeah, I'm pronouncing it right.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like where your passion, your source of income, and all the three things I remember, they meet in one
Yes.
thing. So it's kind of like you find your
What you're good at, I think. It's what you're good at, your passions,
your
and
passion, your source of
and then-
income, and there's another thing back I remember. So
Yeah.
that's when you have your ikigai. So like it would be so good if this becomes something that is like, unfortunately we have to pay bills like everyone, right? So
I
like,
know.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Literally, Amani and I talk about this every day.
I'm still waiting for my miracle trust fund to fall out of the sky. I know one day it's coming.
Both of us.
Right? I know my Falahi family has it hitting somewhere.
Absolutely. It's just like kilos of gold, just like waiting.
Right.
No, for sure.
So I guess, well, one thing I should say is if you are listening to this and you live in Europe and you want to take a class, you want to get involved in the community, like you need to reach out to us, or you need to reach out to these ladies, the Tatreez Collective. Ooh, I'm stuttering, guys. I'm so excited. But yeah, you guys need to reach out, because I would love to see you guys spread Tatreez all over Europe, and it'll give Lena and I an excuse to come visit.
100%.
Yes,
you come and
yes,
stay at our
yes.
places, yeah? You stay at
Yeah,
ours.
okay.
100%.
I have no shame, I will.
And I think just
100%.
so that the listeners aren't worried, do not worry. They will not judge your backs. They won't judge your backs. They make these jokes, but they won't judge your back. Just know, Yom started from a very bad place, so don't worry.
Do you know what's so
Everyone is
funny?
welcome.
No, Lina, the funny thing is that I'm known as the fun, calm one. Dina's the militant one with the backs. She'll make them undo it.
bad reputation.
She'll make them unstitch
Dina,
it.
you're
And
like
I'm
me.
It's fine. Oh my God, she's hardcore. I'm like, Sheikha, relax. يعني عادي. She's like, no.
You know what? I would love you to be here, because I walk around the tables and people are like, look, it looks nice. And I'm like,
She's like,
show
no.
me the back. And they go like,
She's like,
No.
Dina, what do you say when they show you? You don't say anything bad, do you? Do you tell them honestly?
she's honest.
I just got a bad reputation from that, because basically, okay, it's probably because I say at the beginning of the workshop, guys, the back has to be pretty much the same as the front. If not, I make you undo it with this face.
She does.
Right? So I think that's why.
Yeah, you're like me.
I think so. I think that's why.
I've
she's
taught a few
hardcore.
classes, and I have a slide on a clean back, and I have a bunch of pictures of clean backs. And I did not realize, but I also say like I'm not gonna judge. Like, it's your first time. You should just like think about strategy and so, but just have fun. No, people will not show me their backs because I scare them by telling them.
But you're still much nicer, Amani. You're much nicer because we don't have that slide where like, it'll be fine. Dina's like, no, I will make you
It's not fine.
undo it. It's not okay.
You got Hajja energy, and I like that.
God. It's you don't mess with Nabulsi women as well. Like, this is no.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Oh yeah.
it's not right, Dina. مجنونة والله العظيم. أنا وياك مجانين like خالصين.
Wait, Dina, where from Nablus is your family from?
From Nablus City. Like
Oh, from
Nablus
Nablus. Okay. My dad's family is from a village outside of Nablus, so I understand Nablusi women.
Nablus City from the
She's
middle
inherited
of
it for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then you go Yom, and then you got Yom saying like, oh, but it's handmade. If there's mistakes, it's because it's handmade. And then I'm in the back like,
You're like, no mistakes allowed.
Because we're not robots. Like, that's how you know we're human made it.
I'm with Yom. I'm with
Come
Yom
on.
on this one.
Thank
I'm with
you.
her on this
Dina,
one.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Dina.
I see a divide.
Yeah.
Lena,
And this is probably why it
Don't
works.
sleep
This
tonight.
is why it
Yeah,
works.
the balance. Look at us, guys. We're balancing.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I love it so much. Okay, last question for you both. What are the major life lessons from any of these experiences? Maybe like learning Tatreez as you're on your own, or creating Tatreez Collective, expanding to Spain. Like, what are the big, that you guys have learned through this process?
I think for me, it's that to preserve something, you have to practice it. So, I mean, you can't just, you have to if you want to keep something alive, you have to do it,
It's a muscle.
Yeah.
100%.
So like, you talk about, like, I have a daughter 3 months ago, turning 3 months next week. Well, this week.
Mashallah.
I know, thank you, Habi. It's crazy. She's being babysat by her uncle now, but anyway. But I think about her, and I think about how I'm going to talk to her about her Palestinian grandma. Because she's got a Yemeni father, a mother who's half Iraqi, half Palestinian. I think, how am I going to talk to her? And I think Tatreez, like, it's going to be a really, physical way,
Tactical,
like, when she asks me, I'm like, hey, go, this is Palestine, you can touch it here. Like, this is your grandma's stove. This is something that I made for you. This is something that you make. So I think that for me is the biggest lesson, is if you want to preserve something, you have to practice it. And that's why, like, I'm personally so passionate about the workshops. I know that Dina is as well. And the teaching element is really core to what we're doing. We want to preserve it. And even to younger generations, Dina and I have taught a workshop to, like, children. Do you remember Dina? 4 years old, 5 years old.
Wow, really?
That's amazing.
Plastic
Well, and it's even more
needles.
special, I feel like, because both of you, similar to like me, like I did not learn from my mother or my grandmother. I taught myself. And so it's nice that you both have taught yourselves, but now you're able to teach like a whole generation of Tatreez stitchers, which is beautiful and powerful.
And it will die. If we don't practice it, it will die out.
Yes.
In the diaspora as well. Like, we can't just depend on, grandma in, Nablus or like there's a generation that needs to learn it. Otherwise, haram.
It's our responsibility being in the diaspora to like use our privileges to preserve our culture, to to spread our culture as well. I very much agree with that.
Yeah, I think for me, that what Tatreez have taught me is that when you have a purpose in life, it's almost you are invincible. Because you find that purpose. Like, people go around life not having a purpose. We live in this materialistic world. People just care about the latest iPhone 15 and the queue. Like, when you actually have a real purpose in life, like we do have, like, to spread the word of Palestine through Tatreez, and you have that purpose in life behind, you're just invincible. I feel like you just face
Dina,
anything.
you are speaking.
Are you a poet too?
No,
She is.
no, I use ChatGPT, so like.
Oh my God, but seriously, that is so beautiful, and it like speaks to me very, very wholeheartedly. Wow.
Yeah, I think we're very lucky.
We
both.
really are.
We're
Yeah,
very
you
lucky
guys.
it's a purpose in life. Trust me, like anything that you do in the back of your head, you're like, I'm doing this for this cause, right? So like, you're willing to go beyond anything, any challenge that will come your way, because you have a purpose. You have something, it's something bigger than you. And then you are like, I will overcome this because I have this purpose.
Wow, so beautifully said. Thank you so much for both of you for sharing that. Before we leave today, we'd love to let the listeners know where they can find you guys.
Amazing.
So we are on Instagram. Our Instagram is the Tatreez Collective. We have our contact details through the Tatreez Collective Instagram. And we are very soon launching our website as well. So that will be ready end of January. So there they will find out information about workshops, information about commissions if they wish to like order any like custom commissions, and other information that we will be adding there. But for now, like Instagram, like we're quite active there, and we're very responsive as well. So anytime.
Great, and we'll include all of those links in the show notes. We cannot wait to see your website launch. Thank you both so much. Like this was like an amazing conversation. I was just laughing from the start to the end, and also just feeling a lot of feelings in a good way. So thank you both for being here, and thank you both for being open and sharing. And thank you guys for the work that you're doing in London and Spain, and inshallah further throughout Europe, because it is important for us, again, like being in the diaspora, to use our privilege to spread our culture and to keep it alive. So thank you both for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Oh, Lena, this was such another like amazing interview. I know we have both been kind of gushing, and I think I'll speak for myself, but I think I also speak for you. I think we have a little girl crush on the ladies.
100% confirmed.
Yeah, no, they were so great. I laughed so much, felt so many emotional feelings in a good way, but we know I'm the sappy one, so I'm always feeling feelings.
This is true.
I cosplay as badass, but I'm really sappy.
Oh my goodness. No, 100%. I was laughing really hard most of the time. I feel like I should have probably gone on mute because my laughs were probably interrupting all of what they're saying. And also, not to like be so specific, but I'm obsessed with their lessons. Their lessons were so beautiful. The ones that they shared at the end.
I know.
Man, spoke to my soul.
They're great. And I love that. I just love that they're taking this initiative that started so organically of just like, let's get together in Tatreez, to like taking on this responsibility of like teaching other people, not just Palestinians, but like you saw Dina was talking about, or you heard Dina was talking about how the fact that in Spain, most of the people coming to these workshops are not Palestinian. So it's like this beautiful cross-cultural unity too, which is nice to see.
And it's 100% rooted in community and just all of the things. Exactly. No, it was such a wonderful conversation. And I honestly, like I've been following them for a while, but I didn't realize they were doing this much. That's incredible that they're doing that many workshops.
Right.
Now this exhibition, and I don't know. I think there's something also, it's easier to come into community, like to have a shared space. I find like that's becoming a lot more popular, but to actually have something produced out of that too is next level. And I think that's really powerful that they can then share that with the rest of the world, and everyone feels like they're a part of it, everyone, because they literally are a part of this big piece.
Stop. I cannot wait to see that.
I know.
I cannot wait to see this beautiful like Star of Bethlehem motif that they have created. Like I can't even imagine in my head what it's going to look like. So I'm very, very excited.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate, I always appreciate when people do this. And I know both the ladies said, a part of their workshops and their presentation is identifying too that like this is political. Like Tatreez is political. I say it all the time. A lot of other Tatreez artists say that too. And I can't stop saying it because I think it's really important, especially right now as we're in the middle of watching our people being massacred. Like, sometimes, and I think we've had a couple conversations on the podcast so far with people about, sometimes it feels like, oh, I'm just stitching. And like, is this really important? And having these conversations, I think, just reiterates and grounds us. And yes, it is important. And it is so, like, Tatreez is so much more than embroidery. Like, you see how, people use it to heal, people use it to connect to their roots, to connect to their own individual identity. So I can't say enough how much I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. So our listeners, if you're still listening and you're still with us, make sure that if you're in London or Spain, go check out the Tatreez Collective. They're doing incredible work and they're excited to have you. So I'm excited for you to meet them and be there because I wish I could do it, to be honest.
Same.
Right? So good.
We'll have to take a trip.
Yeah. Okay. Coming soon.
We'll talk.
100%. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Tatreez Talk. We want to hear about your own Tatreez journey, so please share your stories with us at tatreeztalk@gmail.com, and you may just be the next guest that we have on the show. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite listening platform, and make sure that you leave a 5-star review. You can follow me at Lina Stob and Amani at Minamani, and please, of course, follow the pod at Tatreez Talk. Until next time, sisters.